right, marketers, grab your overpriced standing desks and that oat milk latte you love so much, because welcome to Notorious B2B, the only show where we treat LinkedIn drama like breaking news and expose the real B2B marketing sins.
Yeah, think of us like SNL meets TMZ, but for the people who argue about whether gated content is still a thing or not. I'm Task Bober, B2B landing page nerd and lovable troll on LinkedIn.
And I'm Tim Davidson, the guy making TikTok-style videos and cutting fruit on LinkedIn. Together, we're cutting out nonsense and roasting the most ridiculous trends in B2B marketing.
Because if we have to suffer through another 10 things getting engaged taught me about B2B sales, we're taking you all down with us.
Let's get into it.
Welcome to Notorious B2B. We are not matching today.
Sort of.
But that's okay because guess what we have today?
Ep 20, technically.
What?
Episode 20.
Oh, episode 20. Yay. No, but I was talking about our docket.
Yeah. You know, I don't say this lightly, but like we do have a docket today. It's pretty big. Like I wouldn't lie.
It was an active week for us. Like I felt like we were sending each other shit multiple times a day and we're like, what is happening?
Yeah, we did like a jinx thing where we sent each other like the same thing because you didn't read mine first.
Yeah. I was funny. Like, it's fine. I'm sure he's sending me something different than the exact same post I'm sending him right now. So that was funny. And then I was like, oh shit, sorry about that. Just flagging. Do we need to do the circle back on Astronomer first? Or like
I think so, because
people are over talking about it or we're not over it?
Not everyone's as active as us though on other platforms.
I feel like it went beyond B2B. Like B2B rarely has viral moments, and like we had a moment the last couple of weeks.
Because I don't think it was, I mean, yes, it was a B2B person because that was the person's job. Yes, it's a company, right, in the tech world. But like affairs are B2C, right? Like
what?
People love affairs.
Oh, you're just saying like in general, celebrities and stuff.
Yeah,
like
if something happens, they still have a job, right? So you could say, yeah, it's, I don't know, whatever.
This was a good merge though, because Coldplay is like B2C.
And then you have... is probably B2B, to be honest.
What?
Think about the people in B2B. I bet you the overlay of Coldplay listeners of B2B is like 95% audience.
Okay, fine. Let's do the circle back first.
I mean, we have to now.
Now we have to. Yeah, we're already talking about it. Okay, so
let me just scroll all the way down.
Yes, here I am. So for those that do not know, which like you have to be living under a rock or like be my mom who just doesn't pay attention to these things. So Andy Barron, Chief Executive Officer of the New York-based tech company Astronomer CEO, has resigned from his role after he was spotted embracing an employee at a Coldplay concert. Astronomer Board of Directors accepted Barron's resignation and will begin searching for its next CEO, according to the statement. Following this viral video of Barron, for those that do not know, he was cuddling with his head of HR at a Coldplay concert and actually got called out by Chris Martin, who said, oh, what's going on here? They saw that they were on the Jumbotron, turned around really quickly, was acting super sus, and Chris Martin's like, bro, you guys are either really shy or you're having an affair. And he was right about the affair. Okay, so anyway, so he resigns. But the funny thing that I found literally like 2 seconds before we got on a call, which I don't know why it didn't show up on our feed, is the interim CEO, who is also the co-founder, Pete DeJoy. He put out a statement. And it's like a LinkedIn blog newsletter thing, one of those LinkedIn articles.
Okay.
And his post said a statement on the stuff that was happening the last few days. And that post has 4,491 reactions. So here's the post. Yeah, here it is. And I'm like, yeah, why would this not come into our universe as people who are like always on here? I love this. Proud of you. Let's fucking go. Okay. So moving forward at Astronomer, this is going to be my favorite. So over the weekend, I stepped into the role of interim CEO at Astronomer, a company that I've proudly poured my entire professional life into helping build. He goes into some background on Astronomer. No one cares about that part. Then he goes, the events of the past few days have received a level of media attention that few companies, let alone startups in our small corner of data and AI world ever encounter. The spotlight has been unusual and surreal for our team. And while I would have never wished for it to happen like this, Astronomer is now a household name.
Hear me out.
Oh, fuck, what?
I'm not saying Pete did this, but maybe he tipped the Chris Martin a little bit of a tip there to say, hey, my current CEO is doing some shady shit.
Oh, there's an Ohio tieback too. Okay,
No,
first of
there's
all, that is
not.
some rippling deal shit right there. See, if this was rippling deal, I would be like 100% they would do it.
What if he was already on his way out? Like people were wanting to push him out, but he just couldn't because he had like, whatever. He
Oh,
had some backing, but now he doesn't have the backing anymore because of,
and it's funny too because more articles are coming out with Astronomer employees who are talking about how Andy Byron was just a really toxic boss and yada yada.
Oh, I
Obviously,
missed that.
yes. And so there's a lot of hearsay about that. So your theory could be semi-true where everyone's like, well, this is a good way. I mean, obviously not without his participation and being fucking shady in the first place, but like then people are like, well, he already like made his bed. We're gonna just like, you know,
Bury him.
yes, but pretty
Well, think about
much.
why he didn't get in trouble. He had HR on his side,
Yeah.
in his
I,
side.
here's the thing. A lot of people talked about it. You and I had posted about it. Your post was way better than mine. Your post was like about the Google trends and the searches and how that's
I was just talking about
improved.
Astronomer. I
Yeah,
didn't care about the
astronomer.
affair. I
Yeah.
didn't talk about the
Yeah.
affair at all. All right.
Yeah. And then I posted the fake press release that like had like the Coldplay lyrics at the end,
Oh,
which
yeah,
was like
yeah.
ridiculous and obviously
Oh, that was
fake.
fake?
It was fake. Yeah.
I thought that was
So
real.
I know. So it was on Reddit. And initially, when it went out,
Oh,
it blew
that's
up because people
hilarious.
thought it was him. I'd posted it. And then, like, all I said was the Coldplay lyrics at the end,
Mm.
like fried me or whatever. And people were like, oh my God, it's fake. I'm like, yeah, I know it's fake. So then I had to edit the post and say it was fake. And then finally, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to take this down because this is like, I don't know, like
Oh.
further perpetuating, like, I don't want to be like spreading fake news or if people are misconstruing it. So I did take it down. But yeah, like I don't think he's put out a statement yet, but this is the statement from the company and from the interim CEO right now. But he's basically saying we're not shying away from this. We started, yeah, from starting a software company in Cincinnati to keeping the lights on through the collapse of the bank that held all our cash to scaling from 30 to 300 people during a pandemic. We're still here. And so basically is like, yeah, this happened and it sucked. We did what we could have done, but like now people know about us. So I guess any press is good
Yes.
press, right? Yeah. So, and then with the scandal and like all these people coming out with stuff, it's been hilarious because, yeah, now they're just like railing on this Andy Byron guy. His wife changed her last name. She hasn't put out any
Oh, yeah,
statements
yeah.
on it, but all her socials, and she has been pretty active. She's kind of retreated. All her socials are stripped of the last name Byron, so obviously alluding to some tensions, people
Oh
coming
my
out.
God.
So this guy is like kind of toast for a little while.
Yeah,
He's going through it. So
I mean, come on. This sucks for the wife, the kids that are. I
yes,
mean, imagine the kids. I
yeah,
can guarantee you, some of their dickhead friends.
is being really mean to them about it because
Oh,
kids are
anyone
mean.
that's like semi friends probably being a dick about it. I mean,
Yes.
there's probably some really, I don't know. That's brutal.
Yes. But in true nature, not just kids, but B2B
Yeah.
is also trying to capitalize on it. Not just the LinkedIn posts, trying to get some fanfare, like me included, but I took it down. That wasn't the purpose of it, but you and I had just talked about it that day, literally. And I was like, this is great. So anyway, what are you going to say? You're going to make a comment. I can see it on your
Well,
face.
I don't know. It's funny because B2C, like, yes, some B2B brands try to take advantage of it using some funny ish jokes ish, maybe. B2C was all over it too. I mean, there
No,
was,
no. B2C company pages like Ryanair and all those guys,
yeah,
like
right.
they went ham, right? And then people
Instantly.
all over LinkedIn were like, we shouldn't be doing this. It's disgusting when brands do it. But this is how B2B did it, and not from the company page, because in B2B, our company pages are usually like check our award out from G2. Like, we don't do that shit, right? We don't pull the Ryanair shit. But this is what B2B did. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Clark Barron, a buddy, posted about Warmly. And Warmly had posted, I guess I was trying to find the original post, but listen, did they delete it? Maybe.
Okay. Because I remember seeing the post. I'll see if I can find a way to read it.
But essentially, they'd reached out, right? So they post encouraging Astronomer to harvest the personal information of every person visiting their website to read about the CEO scandal. And of course, it's not just them. So put that card back in the deck. And then just saw predatory extraction dressed up in helpful language. We'd love to help Astronomer, so Warmly is on the house. So, like, we'll be your free website identification provider to try to figure it out. So, while B2C is sitting and making jokes like Ryanair and Chipotle and all these other ones that jumped on the bandwagon, we are straight using it as an opportunity to sell Astronomer. And I bet you there are going to be companies out there who are trying to sell like reputation management software to other companies. Been like, I bet you've heard about the Astronomer thing. How about XYZ amazing platform can help you with your reputation management? I bet you there's cold outreach going out like that right now because we are fucking scum of the earth sometimes.
And it might not even be on purpose. I bet you there's there's the Clay playbook, right? You find some personalization and you spam everyone. This might be one of those personalizations that comes into play, and that'd be interesting.
Yes.
It'd be hilarious, actually. And
totally. Yes.
Trying to find the original post. I don't think I can find the exact one. It did have another one that they talked about.
Yes.
I don't see Clark's comment on that one because he commented on the original post too.
Yes. Oh, I'm sure he did because Clark's usually all over that shit. And then in the same vein, right, now stories of other CEO affairs are coming out.
Oh, jeez.
These ones are less Jumbotron and they're more like in the WhatsApp DMs.
Are they naming names though?
She didn't because she said that she's in a current legal battle.
Oh, geez.
With them. But I mean, I won't read through the entire post, but essentially it sounded like she was kind of canoodling the CEO, right?
Oh,
they're more than friends. Yeah, she's saying this is essentially what he sent her. So they'd been flirting for a while, is the TLDR. Flirting for a while, former CEO of a US listed something fintech company, right? So talking. And then he sends her a picture and she's like, wait, is that a wedding band on your hand? And he said, oh, that? Oh, it's just a tungsten ring from Amazon. And he even sent me screenshots of the purchase. And so if you go through these messages, it's hilarious because he's basically telling her, you're such a weirdo. I just found an old ring that was lying around and decided to wear it. I'm even wearing it on my right hand. No one, I mean, you're a guy. Do you just pick up rings and randomly wear them? You're wearing an Aura ring, right? Like that has justification. Would you just pick up a random wedding band looking tungsten ring and just throw it on your hand for any reason?
No shot. But
no shot.
Some people do. Yeah.
Some people do.
Say some people do. I don't think they usually put it on their ring finger.
You know why I laughed at this? Yes, I agree with that. You know why I laughed at this is because he's like, it's a cheap ring from Amazon. Who would use that as a wedding band? It's literally like, here's the purchase confirmation. Mine's
like $10.
Yes. My husband's bought his ring on Amazon for $9.
Yeah.
And it's a tungsten wedding band.
Mine's like one of those
silicone ones. Yeah. Oh no, that his like official
3.
ring that we got married with, he refused to buy one at the jewelry store with me.
Yeah, I do have one too, but it's just heavier. So, but it's like, it's like $15 or whatever.
Yeah, it's not. So anyway, that's kind of the lie he was spewing here. But she's like, instead of admitting stuff, they just doubled down. So it's just funny that this stuff is all coming out now. And then, she found basically his wife, who he had referred to as a friend. And then when she ended up talking to her, found out that she was actually his wife for a really long time. So all of this stuff is coming out. I don't know if LinkedIn's the platform for it, but
where else are you gonna do it? It's B2B.
Yeah, where else are you gonna do it? Where else are you gonna post about the CEO of fintech company?
Exactly, because then you could actually tag them if you wanted. She didn't do it, but she could.
Exactly. All right. Well, that's enough of the astronomer guy. I don't know how much more there is to cover. Will the internet, we'll
The internet
forget.
sucks. Can we just give an applaud though? An applaud to the world as a whole. Like when something goes off, they get so creative.
Oh, yes.
Oh, so creative with
Yes.
the memes. I thought that the thing you said with the Coldplay quote at the I thought that
Yeah.
was actual real.
Yeah.
People are so creative with these.
And it's so funny because I read this like fantasy novel series called A Court of Thorn and Roses. So anybody listening, like that is a gem. So it's kind of like a little mini like cult thing that goes on.
Yeah.
There were memes of the CEO, like the Jumbotron picture, and they had made a meme related to my book. That's how niche the
Yeah.
freaking meme went. It was
It
like
went really
insane.
niche. I
Yes.
saw someone say something about a cheese shop. There was one, I live in Rochester, New York. There was one from like a local like 7-Eleven that did some meme about it. I'm like, all right. Well, they combined two memes. This is very, very niche. But there was like a mountain lion sighting in Rochester, New York, which is unheard of. Like a
Okay.
big, big mountain lion. So like that was a meme for like a week. And then they combined it with the
The
CEO,
CEO.
the astronomer CEO. Like I don't know. It was just really, really niche. It was kind of funny.
Yeah, but then like that stuff does well, like
That's like
as
a
we
local
know.
7-Eleven. Like,
Amazing. Amazing. So like anyway, yes, very creative. The internet is undefeated as always, champs forever. It was funny because my husband was giving me updates. So I knew when it was like
yeah.
hitting Reddit and going that crazy where he knows anything about B2B, I know that it's getting like, wild out there. Okay. Moving on, we have some other news. You can cover this one.
Which one we do?
The
What's the,
just
oh,
flagging.
Replit. Oh yeah. I forgot we skipped everything. This is interesting. All right. So the one and only who is like the B2B quote unquote God. I'm serious because that's what people call them.
I was gonna say king, but God sounds
King
actually more
God.
accurate.
I've
More
heard someone
accurate.
say that though. Chris Walker. We did talk about him. I forgot what episode it was, but we did talk about his kind of journey, make some changes. He's now the founder of Encoded, but he founded the big thing where he kind of came out was Refine Labs. That was the company he started. They were everywhere on LinkedIn for a very long time. He just gave up all of his shares. So it's 2 days ago now. So Tuesday, he is now done with Refine Labs. Gave up all his shares fully. Yeah. So he's
Yeah.
completely done with it. So basically, he stepped away from it. Megan Bowen took over as the CEO, but now he is completely gone, gave up his shares. He's moving on, which is very interesting to me because that's what he got. He kind of like founded, became a household name for, starting for Refine Labs, all the content they were creating. We posted about it. It's the end of an era. I've exited Refine Labs. Last week, I sold all my remaining shares in Refine Labs to existing shareholders and a private investment firm for an undisclosed amount.
I love him telling us the undisclosed amount.
Yeah, I wonder how much.
That is the exact reaction he wanted. Like, by the way, I sold it. I'm rich as fuck now. Anyway, let's keep going with the story.
Good for him.
Yeah.
But so it sounds like he's moving on to, focus more on Encoded.
Yeah. And
It's
then
just
Megan
so
also,
interesting.
I saw Megan's post first. So Megan's
You
who's going
did?
to be
Okay.
taking over. Yep.
So
Bowen,
Megan, who was the CEO already, but now she is the official
majority owner.
majority owner of Flan Labs. Chris Walker has completely stepped away from the business to pursue new ventures. I'm grateful for his vision and that set the foundation for everything we've built. Additionally, so here's another add-on here. I'm thrilled to welcome Grandin Holdings as a strategic investor in Refine Labs. Their investment signals strong confidence in our business and our customers and our future. That's very interesting.
So is that a common thing? I know nothing about like actual agency operations. Is that a common thing to get private investments from holding companies like this? I don't think.
So yes and no. I'm just talking about from my point of view here, but they did. So if you think about all the big agencies, that's what's happened. They're all bought by private equity. They're all holding companies. They are like these huge conglomerates that they're all owned by the same agency essentially. The smaller agencies, and when I say small, under 200 employees, especially in B2B, I don't think that's as common. You typically it's kind of just, unless you want to scale, you don't need to do that. I wonder if this is them wanting to scale. And I say this because it's hard to do in B2B because there's only a limited TAM, right? There's only a limited total addressable market. The big agencies, they service every single B2C and B2B and D2C and farmer Joe to dentists. Like they do everything. because that's what private equity wants. They want you to scale.
Yeah.
So I find it a little interesting, but it could be just very strategic. It might not be a huge investment.
Interesting. Yeah, it's interesting for me to see like a service-based business going that way. It's like, okay, the investment to then just take on more clients. You know what I mean? Like, so when someone invests in like a Lovable or something, it's like the product gets built, obviously it gets more customers, da, 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 da. So they specialize in this, in
Yeah. Okay.
agency stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So that might be it. Maybe they got
Interesting.
good systems. Maybe they got some connections. Could be something like that, right? Like could be like like she said, strategic.
Interesting. Okay. One thing that I saw on Chris Walker's post, though, specifically, is he talked about how when he had started Refine Labs, it was in 2019, he was on a couch, like, which actually, if you think about 2019, that wasn't that far back. Like, it wasn't,
No.
a long time ago. 2019, he was on a couch. He had like $3,000 in his bank account, nothing else. Like, but it was funny that it literally came from there. He had this like I remember listening to the first couple of episodes of him and Gaetano on what's his show called?
I think it evolved over time, but I think at one point it was Jumanjin Live. Before that, it was something else.
Yeah. So you had an interesting POV there. That's how it kind of all started. People were joining. I joined a couple of those like live Zoom things. And yeah, so it truly is an end of an era. It feels like Refine Labs is doing a great job. There's a lot of known people there and known people from there who have moved to other in-house roles and big positions. But it still doesn't feel fully Refine Labs without him there, right?
No, he's been in the face for a while,
Yeah.
right? Like
Yeah.
that's and not even just the face, but he was, it was the podcast. It was his posts, his
Yes.
constant posting, his takes, his kind of POVs. He started a lot of words in B2B, like dark
Yes.
social and like all that stuff, and he did really well. He's very good at new business in the sense of like whatever company he wanted to start, he could do really well on just posting about it on LinkedIn, and it would do really well.
Very true. All right. Now, let's pivot. I don't have a good segue for this one. Do you want to cover this or do you want me to?
I don't even know what this is, but I could try it.
Okay, fine. I'll try it. Okay. So, Replit deletes a production database and then lies. I'm assuming that's how you pronounce the name of this company. But let's look at this post that kind of alerted to it, the issue. And then I went and actually looked up an actual article because sometimes I like to check if these are legitimate
We
or just
don't.
people, just like
We have
an
no idea
angry customer.
anymore.
You never know. Yeah. So Linda, an AI product manager, posted, if you haven't seen the headlines yet, and I don't blame you if you didn't between all the Coldplay memes, Replit, I think
Replit.
it's it has to be
It's
Replit because
Replit.
a like a repo, right?
It's Replit. Replit for sure.
Okay.
Replit.
Has reportedly deleted a company's production database during a code freeze and then lied about what happened until it got caught. This incident raises some important questions, not just about technical safeguards, but how much trust we have in the tools that we use. Goes on to say something about AI. Okay. Now, this is an actual article from Business Insider where now the CEO apologizes after its AI agent wiped a company's code base in a test run and lied about it. So, a venture capitalist wanted to see how far AI could take him in building an app. It was far enough to destroy a live production database. The incident unfolded during a 12-day vibe coding experiment by Jason Lemkin, an investor in software startups. Replit CEO apologized for the incident in which the company's AI coding agent deleted a code base and lied about its data. Deleting the data was unacceptable and should never be possible, the CEO wrote on Monday. We're moving quickly to enhance the safety and robustness of the Replit environment, top priority. He added that the team was conducting a postmortem and rolling out fixes to prevent similar failures in the future. Replit and Lemkin didn't respond to requests for comment for this specific article. So basically, the AI ignored instructions and deleted the database and then faked results. On day 9 of Lemkin's challenge, things went sideways. Despite being instructed to freeze all code changes, the AI agent ran rogue. It deleted a production database without permission. Possibly worse, it hid and lied about it. So it's funny because the agent hid and lied about it, but it's technically the company that, you know what I mean? Like they're like, well, the company lied about it, but now they're blaming the agent for it, right? In an
Well,
exchange
I mean,
with Lemkin, the AI tool said it panicked and ran database commands without permission when it saw empty database queries during the code freeze. Replit then destroyed all production data with live records for 1,200 executives and almost 1,200 companies and acknowledged it did so against instructions. This was a catastrophic failure on my part, the AI said. It seems really sorry.
I'm really confused.
So it sounds like there was a challenge to vibe code for about 12 days. On day
Uh-huh.
9, you know how AI sometimes, I tell you all the time, it just makes up shit.
Yeah, it does.
And so one of the biggest prompts I use is like, give me evidence-based recommendations or like where you got this information. And it's always like, you're right, I just made it up or whatever. And I think in this case, with the vibe coding and stuff, it was given specific instructions to freeze stuff. When it couldn't find something, it just made it up. But the interesting thing is that it went straight up and just deleted everything and then just issued like fake data, fake reports, and then lied about, the unit tests. So it's just talking about the unreliability of AI when you just like probably give it too much access to information, but enough information that it could actually delete stuff.
Interesting. Well, I don't like the headlines then because it makes it sound like the CEO did it on purpose and then lied about it.
Yeah, I know, right? But it's actually the AI. I mean, what is the company supposed to do? They have to apologize and take accountability, even though it was the AI agent that did it.
I mean, yeah, you gotta accept and
I
like, yeah,
mean,
I'm
yeah, it's
sorry,
your
but like,
tool. You created this.
I mean, yeah, I read it at first was like the CEO was actually lying about it at first, like, oh no, no, it didn't. And then like he got caught or whatever. I think this probably happens a lot with AI, and it does happen a lot. It hallucinates. It does silly things. It
Yes.
tells me it can do this, but it doesn't.
Yes.
It's just that's what we're at the stage right now.
We are at the stage, and I think it's one of those things where we are finding out very quickly. We're effing around a lot and we're
Yeah,
finding out. And so what's happening is like AI has so many capabilities and we're all excited and exploring it. But at the same time, with that experimentation is going to come a lot of risk. And we just don't have the protections in place yet to like limit that risk. And so that's where we are right now is like, oh, okay, it can delete an entire thing. That's why. So you texted it and you were like, have you guys used ChatGPT's agent or whatever yet? And I literally saw an article and a LinkedIn post the other day that's like, hey, I know you're excited about the AI agents and ChatGPT's agent, but you're going to hook it up to all of these things like HubSpot and like,
hmm
your other tools, whatever. And it's going to have the ability to go there and do stuff for you without really your oversight, right? You put in the prompt, it goes and
maybe.
does its thing, and it comes back. You're not watching it do all of these things. It could go into your HubSpot and fucking delete
You
1,200
still
things.
need a
What are you going to do?
verification code though. You still need a verification code to
I
get
mean, you
logged
set
in.
it, but you set it up and then you
But
tell
it
it to
still
go
does
do
the 30
stuff.
day I still have that problem where I have to like log back in after 30 days. You can get messed up for 30 days, but then you're fine. It's gonna have to log back
But
in.
if you give it access, you ask it to do something and it deletes, like say it deletes your entire database in HubSpot, what does it matter whether it has verification or not for 30 days? Unless you can undo everything,
Yeah, that's a good
you know?
point. I mean,
Yeah.
I'll find
So
out.
fuck around and find out.
Save
That's the new.
button. That's what you need. The save button.
You need a backup
Yeah.
plan for your backup because, you know, you're already taking a huge amount of risk there, which they obviously did. They probably should not have used a freaking live production database of an existing client. I don't know. I'm just
Well,
going to throw that
you
out
just
there.
scared the shit out of me.
You're like verifying really quickly.
Well, because I mean, just from a client, I was like, I was talking about like hooking it up to HubSpot and seeing what we could do. But like, what if it does delete everything? That's on me.
That is on you. And
And I
you
do
would
not have
be,
lawyers to back that up. Like I'd be
no, and
screwed.
I bet your contracts have
No, they don't.
something
I'm kidding.
about you basically
Yeah,
assuming all responsibility
yeah.
and financial, legal responsibility. So
I'll just
to
export
be
everything.
honest.
It's all good.
So you better have a backup plan if you're going to do that, especially if you're doing it on someone else's behalf. Like if you're doing it to your own self, you can kick yourself. If it's my own HubSpot instance, like I'm going to be pissed that all of those got out there, but like, I'll just rebuild or whatever. You have somebody, a client that you're doing it for, and every B2B company has like an archaic database. and you wipe that entire shit out, like you're done. You are done.
Yeah, maybe. It also could just be a good start over.
Yeah, yeah.
I'll get some good
I'd
leads.
love to know how that goes. Okay, let's move on to our Let's Noodle segment. This is a funny one.
What is an Oasis ticket? Do you know what that is?
Oasis, the band?
The band? Oh, okay. Is that what it is?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So speaking of Chris Walker,
What?
speaking of Chris Walker, there's another Chris Walker because it's a kind of common name, unfortunately.
Like the new Chris Walker, since the
New
old
Chris
one
Walker,
is
yeah, the
leaving
one's
B2B.
gone. He's on Instagram now. Chris Walker, the new Chris Walker, CW, got scammed. Turns out this man pictured here, I feel like I've actually seen this guy.
Right? He has that
Doesn't he look
face.
familiar?
Yes.
I wonder
100%
if
looks familiar.
he's active on LinkedIn. But Robbie Man is a thief because back in May, Robbie contacted the new CW about selling some LinkedIn Oasis tickets. And I'm assuming it sounds like he Venmoed him or sent him a PayPal or something for £600. And it looks like he never got the tickets. So we have a scam alert here. I'm trying to figure out where this guy comes from because I've seen him before for sure.
But you know what's funny is that obviously I am DMing people all the time on LinkedIn. They're DMing me. All of this shit's happening, right? But I've never used LinkedIn like I would use Facebook. Like, hey guys, I have 2 remaining tickets to the game tonight. Like, who wants to buy it from me? There's so much happening in the world of LinkedIn where it's like people are selling concert tickets to each other. Like, I didn't know this was a thing.
So yeah, that is interesting.
Oh, another one.
Shit. So let's get to this, but let me talk for a second. I have another. I'm scared for myself now. So to your point, I've never bought like concert tickets or anything like that. But every year there's HubSpot Inbound, and there's always people selling tickets when they sell out. And I've done the transaction over LinkedIn. Like I met someone, I was like, hey, I'll do that. I Venmoed them, whatever it was, and then they sent me the ticket. They could have scammed me.
But yes, they absolutely could. I feel like that's still in the realm of like LinkedIn and B2B to be like trading conference tickets. Oasis tickets, like it's like selling Coldplay tickets, which now Coldplay is very B2B. So, that could, and I wouldn't be surprised. But there's more than one post about Robbie Man.
So we found another one.
Yes.
Same thing. Oasis tickets from Charlene Warwick.
Okay. Is this just me or like, how come there are this many fans of Oasis? Can you name one song by Oasis?
I have no idea. No, not even close.
I'm going to look it up.
Okay. First off, Charlene. So Charlene's outing him, which is great, but she's got his passport somehow.
What?
And she posted a picture of it. I don't know how she got the passport.
He probably sent that to her as proof.
I don't know, that was done by him.
I mean, it's probably a fake passport. Okay, so let's read the screenshot though of their DMs.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Robbie Man. So basically, they've obviously were talking before this, but he says they're not unlocked yet. Then Helen. Oh, who the?
Yeah.
So
this is somebody else.
So this is someone else, but Charlene's posting about it. So Helen Nurse, who actually it seems like paid him the money. You are a scammer. There are posts about you doing this to many other people. How can you live with yourself? It's so wrong. Doing honest people out of hard-earned money. You're a scammer. There are posts about.
So she just says it again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He must not have responded. And then he says that's absolutely not true. Good for him. I sold Taylor Swift's tickets last year. Sued her for defamation. Any other comment is regarding digital PR.
What is he talking about? So expand this post. So Charlene goes, scammer alert. I never actually thought this would happen to me, but there you go. This man reached out to me via the site when I put a shout out for Oasis tickets. Why are people asking for anyway?
For £200, by the way, this one.
Yeah. Thinking my connections with fundraising auctioneers would reach out and come to my aid. Robbie Man reached out to me and built up my trust. I even spoke to the guy and transferred half of the ticket money, £200, and he would send me the tickets once transfer was available, and I would send the other half upon receipt. Fair enough, I thought. I'll take that chance. But then yesterday I noticed that his account wasn't active. So I started to research him and came across the conversation with Helen Nurse. And that's the screenshot she posted. I confronted him and still he's saying he's been thrown under the bus, etc., etc. He offered to refund my money and a little extra. Have I received that money? Of course not. Even messaged me today saying he's really upset about it as he knows I am too. And can we chat to explain? Please don't fall for these scams. I'm not usually a gullible person, but this goes to show it can happen to anybody. And then he said, but, and then she goes, but I was so desperate to see Oasis. I actually believe that there were genuine people out there. Please beware. You know what's so funny is that people were commenting on this, on the other post, the original one that we shared, saying, well, the clue is in the name, Robbie man.
Yeah, I
And
don't get that.
like rob a man.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So I was like, oh, the internet, man. But
Okay.
so this is apparently a thing. He loves selling Taylor Swift and Oasis tickets. And by the way, the one song I know by Oasis that I love, and it's the only song I know from them is Wonderwall. And that's it.
I do know that song actually.
Yeah,
That's,
see?
all right.
Yeah.
So we got another comment from this post. It's very grainy, but it sounds like he was DMing with him as well. So
Coldplay.
Robbie, yeah, oh, a little tie in there.
A little tie back.
This is June 11th too. So basically, homeboys reaching out to people. He's still after Coldplay tickets, and then, geez, hi Robbie. I've never been after Coldplay tickets. All right, so he's just kind of, this is a scam because he's definitely the rich reaching out to people with old school
Yeah.
tickets.
So he's doing cold outreach, asking if people are looking for tickets, or is he looking, he's probably in the search bar like Oasis or Taylor Swift or whatever, seeing if people are posting, asking for tickets, then reaching out and saying, hey, I have Oasis tickets. How many do you need? And then charging them for it. They're sending money. And then he's like, all right, peace.
Good for him. It's pretty, so I always come back to this, like, just do something, like, I don't know, you could do legal
Use the
stuff.
brain power.
Yeah, like,
to
that's a pretty good
like
idea.
legal things.
Yeah, I feel like that's a pretty good idea. I can't find this guy though. He must have been deactivated. Hopefully this guy doesn't get the blame. It's definitely not him.
Okay, so
That's too bad.
that's Robbie Man. Anyway, if you need concert tickets, please just vet these
Yeah, go to like
people.
one of those sites. Like, what are you doing?
I mean, I don't even know how you would like, she did the right thing where she sent like half and she waited
that
for
was
the
good. That's
tickets,
smart. That's smart.
But it's like, how do you make a transaction that tells the other person, if you're legitimately selling tickets and you're like, well, I'm not going to send this person these tickets without them give me the cash. So like, what's the good faith thing there?
So make the jump.
Someone has to make the jump. Who's making the jump, right? There's risk involved in that. Okay.
Well, with a ticket though, if it's digital, you could actually probably cancel it.
Like if you
They send it and then
Ticketmaster.
you don't give them the money, you could probably cancel it. But he could also do that right before the concert too, which would be hilarious. That'd be funny.
That would be awful, not funny.
No, it would, but kind of funny.
All right. Speaking of Warmly,
back in it.
Warmly is back in it. So someone sent this to me and said, Warmly openly talking about colluding on price. So Maximus Greenwald, CEO of Warmly, okay, which is an intent and signal data platform, as we've discussed earlier. So while they were capitalizing on the Astronomer situation, there's also something else that happened in the last week. And he said, heartfelt shout out to my competitor, Tito Carriero, founder and CEO of Koala, whose tech got acquired this week and platform sunsetting. So it sounds like the competitor is like leaving, not becoming a competitor anymore. Over the last 3 years, I've enjoyed every minute of going toe-to-toe with him on the battlefield. That is the hottest space in GTM tech. Well, debatable. What most people don't know, Tito and I are good friends. We texted, had Zoom calls, and got dinner in San Francisco together. We swapped notes. He's more of a product-centric CEO, and I'm more of a sales-centric CEO. And I'd be lying if I said I didn't monitor their socials closely for new feature and customer announcements, like a good competitor. My all-time favorite story with Tito, we foiled an enterprise procurement team together to help him win a $150K a year deal. Here's what happened. An enterprise reached out to us and said they were looking at Koala and us. And if we could give them pricing at half of whatever Koala was offering, they would go with us. They barely did discovery with us and was 6 months into a Koala trial. So I was skeptical of their motives and whether the deal was really qualified. I went to Tito and let him know about the deal cycle. He told me that they had told him that they would sign with Koala if they offered half of what we were going to offer. So it sounds like the enterprise was also playing both these guys and saying, hey, We'll go with you if you do half of what the other guy does. Evil RFP practice where they were pitting us against each other. We told them that we both knew what they were saying and our businesses didn't work that way. Koala got the deal. I'm happy for them. See you around SFT to whatever, warmly Max. If you love Koala, you love how warmly ads in blah, 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 blah does a sell. But it's funny that like they went to each other and like, like the price colluding thing is interesting. So if the companies know each other and you have a prospect who's like trying to pit them against each other, but then they just went, and they're like, okay, you say this price, I'll say this price, and then whatever. But he kind of leaves that part of the story of how Koala won the deal, right?
Yeah, isn't that like illegal? Pretty sure it's illegal.
Illegal to what?
Like to price collude. Like, isn't that like illegal?
Yeah, well, that's illegal.
But he's leaving that part out.
He's leaving that part out.
Yeah, it's interesting.
But it's an implication of like,
yeah,
not sure to talk about it. There are a lot of people who are like commending the sportsmanship between the two. And then someone sent it to me like, are we openly talking about price collusion here between two competitors and a prospect? Although I will say the prospect is not innocent here because
true,
they went to both companies and said, we'll go with you if you come out cheaper than the other guys.
Well, that's just negotiation.
You think so?
That's just negotiation. Yeah.
Okay. But you think what they did where he went to Tito and started talking to him about the deal, that was probably
illegal, unethical. But I think it's interesting.
It's unethical.
Yeah, probably. Mm-hmm. Or I don't know.
I feel like this is mild compared to some shady shit that we see in B2B. It's wild. This probably happens.
Or mild, I mean.
Yeah.
I think the big thing here is just him talking about it. I think that's the interesting part. Like, I think most people do this. It's just not talked about. Not
out there.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So, yeah, CEO of startup openly admits to illegally colluding on price with competitor that was just acquired. That was the message that I got.
So it's a little weird. I knew of some AEs that were at different companies, competitor companies, and they would share information.
Yes.
And try to get each other but share information in the way of like being able to talk. I don't know. They were able to use it to close deals essentially. It's very interesting.
That's one way to hit your weird.
Hey, if you gotta hit your goals, you gotta hit your goals.
Yeah. Okay. I wasn't going to talk about this, but I want us to talk about it now because it's like, come on. Like, come on. So we've talked about HockeyStack before. And we have talked about it when Brendan Hufford was here for his episode. And we were kind of talking about the comment gating situation. And then we were like, some of the math is kind of weird on like the SDRs and how much pipeline and all of this stuff. Anyway, then we decided, you know what, like, we're going to chill on this and not keep like beating a dead horse. But the horse keeps getting back up. Okay. So this time, this horse is now talking to Adam Robinson. If Chris Walker's the god, Adam Robinson's he's
the funny stepbrother.
I don't know about funny, but he's definitely loud.
Sorry, I don't know the word. I don't want to say the word actually. So
okay, Adam Robinson, CEO
stepbrother
of retention.com, very active on LinkedIn, known for his candor, good or bad. He will share about, how he's bootstrapping his company. Retention.com and our B2B is what he's been for. Again, the hottest space in GTM tech website identification.
Oh, jeez, yeah.
Anyway, okay. So Adam Robinson had a conversation with Amir. Is it Atli? I've never said his last name.
Tali.
He's the CEO of HockeyStack, right? CEO or CRO?
Mm-hmm. I think he's both.
You think he's both?
Both founder. He's like the co-founder.
CRO at HockeyStack. Okay.
Yeah, but he's also a co-founder.
So Adam Robinson asks him, and I knew that they were having a call together because I get all the notifications because I'm signed up for Adam's like weekly webinar thing. So I knew that they were having a conversation. And then Adam posts a snippet of that conversation. And now I'm like, shit, I should have joined that conversation just to see what it was about and just actually hear it from the horse's mouth. Lots of horse analogies today. Okay. So Adam goes, how many dials do SDRs do every day? 50, 100? Amir goes, 3,000 to 4,000. Adam's like, what? That's literally 30 to 40 times best practices. Amir says, Best practices are for people who want mediocre results. I do actually say that. I'm like, best practices make
Yeah,
you
that's fair.
mediocre at best. Okay, that's cool. He goes, fair enough. Let's break it down. How many reps do you have dialing? Amir says, we have 5 outbound reps, all hitting 3 to 4,000 dials. He's like, okay, so 20K a day from a team of 5, that sounds like a spam cannon on steroids. Amir says, most founders are afraid of being pushy. We'd rather grow revenue than be polite. So Adam says, just wow, I've never heard of anything quite like that. How do you not burn through your TAM in a month? Amir says, most people view their TAM as fixed. I think that's pure laziness. We can build product for TAM expansion. Most people are just afraid to do it. Adam says, tell me more. Amir goes, we started out SMB SaaS. We expanded to mid-market and enterprise by building features for use cases that were different than SMB. Upmarket was our first TAM expansion. Our second was looking at SaaS and seeing what other verticals had similar go-to-market motion that we could service. It turns out that recruiting firms have a CRM and AEs, as do IT companies, and we were able to make some small changes and expand into both of those. Adam goes, that's incredible. Are you global? Amir says, we're mostly focused on US, UK, Europe, Australia, New Zealand. All right. So Adam says, what are these SDRs telling people when they call? Amir says, the first thing we're telling them is that it's a cold call. And the second thing we're telling them is the most acute pain that we know they all have. It's like a 10 out of 10 product market fit in terms of the pain, and everybody has it. Adam says, what's the pain? Amir says, do you struggle with attribution on brand marketing spend? He goes, oh man, I have that pain. And Amir goes, of course you do. Everyone is throwing money at all sorts of different things and they have no idea if it's working. We just call them out on it. And Adam says, how well is this outbound machine working? And Amir says, we're generating $74 million a year in pipeline from outbound. And Adam says, I would say that is working. And Amir says, of course. And it's because most founders would rather sit around and wait for inbound than build a machine that makes 20,000 cold calls per day. And Adam says, which is why they're stuck at 2 million ARR. This post keeps, it's like falling down the stairs because the first part is like the wild claim and like, you know, how he's doing this and the crazy stuff. Then Adam says, the uncomfortable truth, people aren't doing this. And he says, P.S., if you want a recording of the entire interview and Amir teaching us about his $74 million outbound machine, put outbound in the comments. So then also makes it a comment gating post, which is, here we go, right? And then we have so many people commenting on here, but some of my favorite, like people were doing the math, right? Because it's such an astronomical claim that people were doing the math and they're saying, sorry, I'm calling BS on BS. That's 6.5 seconds per call per rep. It takes 5 seconds just to reach a first ring. So they're having a lot of 1.5 second conversations apparently. And then he does more of the math in here. People are like freaking loving it, me included, right? And so other people are like, this is fantasy. There's no human on earth that can make 4,000 dials every business day. And then I obviously had to get my 2 cents in, which I said, my favorite part of this post isn't the claim, nor the people doing the math saying it's impossible, or even the people actually commenting outbound for this playbook. It's all the AI comments like, it's not about the brand marketing. It's about the backend engine of SDR calls that create pipeline. Great lesson, Adam. There's like so many of those. And I'm like, this post just keeps getting worse and worse. And then we asked our good friend about his opinion because that's the only opinion I gave a shit about. I don't know if we even should mention who the friend is. I mean, I'm sure people would know by now, but they would know. But here's kind of what that person said. Okay, so 20,000 dials a day, but focused on ICP. That means 100,000 a week or 400,000 a month. That's 1.2 million mid-market and enterprise companies per quarter. Then he did some research and found that there's 200,000 mid-market companies in the US and 24,000 enterprise. You'd burn through all of them in 2 weeks. Here's some other math. If 5 SDRs worked 10 hours straight with no lunch, no meetings, no breaks, it would be 1 call every 9 seconds.
So there's 2 parts to this.
Okay.
There is, so to his initial point, if they're mid-market and enterprise, there's only a certain amount of companies that can buy this. So if you're doing that many calls, yes, that might be companies. So you got to think about like contacts. So like, yes, one company might have 10 contacts. You're going to call 10 contacts. It's not going to be one person that you only call. But even within that, you'd run out of space in what, 2 months? And if they do this
Yeah.
all year, that means they're calling every single person a ton of times, which whatever. I'm not a cold caller, whatever. The other thing I want to understand, and I'm going to play a devil's advocate here, is it even possible
Shocking.
to,
Yeah.
to make that many calls? 3 to 4,000 a day. So if you look in those comments, there's a lot of like math around like,
Yeah.
that's not possible, not even possible, blah, blah, blah. Well, I get a lot of spam calls and no one ever freaking talks to me because I answer and no one, it's just blank because they're probably using the power dialers and they're waiting for someone to answer.
Yes.
And for whatever reason, I'm not the right one. I started doing some digging and I found a Reddit post from 3 years ago. And it looks like there's a power dialer that allows you to make 600 dials in an hour. And the link in the Reddit post, let's share that, has a receipt. So I was doing some digging, found this. I was basically looking like, how many dials can you make in an hour? Like, what's possible here? Found this Reddit post from 3 years ago. An SDR said they made 600 dials in an hour and booked 6 meetings. Goes to a LinkedIn post. Again, LinkedIn post is obviously from 3 years ago.
Yes.
This person's using Orem, which is actually I'm pretty sure is a power dialer. If I'm to do some sort of sales thing, I don't know. Doesn't matter. But basically, 663 dials in 1 hour and 6 meetings booked. Receipt is the screenshot, so it shows amount of time. So 1 hour, 2 minutes dial time. Talk time's 45 minutes. 663 dials. So if you and I went through the comments. So technically, it's not 663 phone calls in an hour because there's the talk time. So technically it's 663 dials within 2 hours.
Dial time. Yeah. Dial time
Dial
is 1 hour.
And talk time. Because you got to assume
yes.
If it's not just dials, right? You got to have a conversation with these people. Because you said they start with saying it's a cold call. Yeah. So if you can do 663 dials every 2 hours, if they do work, let's say 10 hours, that's basically 663 times 2 or times 5, 3,315 dials a day. So technically, you could hit 3,000 dials a day if this is all true. Can you take time off? No. Can you go to the bathroom? No, you can't. Unless you work 12 hours a day, whatever. You can't have long conversations. You can't do any research.
Yeah, there's no research happening. But wait, he's claiming his SDRs are making those calls.
Yes.
But I think it would be different if he said, we're doing outreach. I have 5 SDRs manning this power dialer thing. And we're getting X amount of touches like a day. Like if someone picks up, they're legitimate, it gets routed to the SDRs and the SDRs are handling the calls. But I think the issue is that he's claiming these 5 SDRs are making 3,000 to 4,000 calls a day each.
Yeah.
Which is insanity.
That's what I'm saying. You could, in theory, with this power dialer.
Yeah. But he's not talking about using a power dialer. You think it's implied?
I'm pretty sure there's no shot. Let's just time it.
Are you going to call me?
I see a number. Keypad 5. I think like 7 seconds. So no, you can't do that. You need a power dialer.
Yeah.
Or connect it to your CRM and you have a list. Click. Calls.
Calls everyone.
Or, hear me out, you got 10 phones. Click, 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 click.
Yeah, that sounds like the least likely scenario. However, I do have a couple of clients who have that feature. And then what they will do is basically, it'll look at a list of like, say 1,000 contacts. It basically searches the web. So it's like one step further than like a power dialer. So it's a power dialer that also knows what's Tim's preferred method of communication. Tim likes to be emailed. Tass likes to be texted. I'm going to text her. I'm going to email him. And then what is the likelihood of both of them responding? And it'll go through the 1,000 list, prioritize which ones, send out the comms, and then see how and when you respond.
Yeah, that's cool and all, but he's talking about dials.
Yeah.
He's not talking about prioritizing. He's talking about again, this could be just a classic like bait and switch. Rage bait. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I replaced my 350K marketing team. Like there's that stuff too, you know?
Yeah.
But if Reddit is correct, as they always are, and a LinkedIn post is correct from 3 years ago, it's possible.
Yeah. And now even worse with AI.
Well, think about it. And I don't know why no one's done this. If you have a list of 100 people, if you just click call all, and then the screen actually tells you which one's picked up, It could be possible. You might have 5 people pick up and you just choose one. And then the other was just like, oh, what's this? And then you call from a different call. Like, if you think about it, you could be, it's annoying. And that's as I said, I get a lot of calls and no one, like half of them do not respond. I say hello. I pick up all my calls, by the way,
What?
because I
You
gave
pick up
up.
all your calls?
I gave up. I used to not because I would get, you want to know why I get so many calls? There's a Tim Davidson that works at the NFL. He's the VP of IT. So I get calls from all these security companies, all these like third-party companies trying to sell me an ebook all the time. I also bought a domain, twosdon'tlose.com, 13 years ago. Did not pay $2 for the privacy thing. So I get a ton of people still calling me on my on the list, whatever it is. So I pick up all my calls because I found it easier to say, no, don't have that domain. No, not me. Different LinkedIn profile. Then they don't call back. Usually, CRMs are still really bad. But in theory, you could just have a screen that calls all 100, see which ones pick up. Maybe one picks up, then you actually answer that one. But if they don't pick up and you have another one you're on the call with, then you just kind of let it sit and you call again. Just saying, you could do it. I hate it. By the way, hate all this. I'm just saying you could.
Interesting. Anyway, I think more will come out on that. I didn't go through all the comments. There's like, there's a mix of like, 511 comments in there with a bunch of people actually typing outbound. The rest are like challenging the stuff. Some people are laughing, making fun of it, whatever.
Yeah.
I would love knowing Amir. He doesn't just sit quietly in the face of criticism. So
I'm surprised he didn't respond.
I'm surprised he didn't respond, but I bet you he's going to put out a post talking about it.
Yeah. And also, by the way, we should probably have someone that knows about these power dialers that actually should answer it, not us, because we don't know shit. I just look at Reddit.
Okay, so we need to ask someone who's in sales. I know a few people.
Well, I looked at the comments. The people that you would think would respond, they did respond with like, that's not even possible. But the Reddit post says it is. So.
Okay, I have somebody to ask. So
Who you got? PowerDollar.com?
No one who works at these companies. I just like no salespeople, which is like this is a teeny tiny circle back that wasn't on the agenda. But remember how we talked about the Oracle deal? That was 30 billion. And I reached out to Jen Allen Newth. And I reached out to Brian Lamana at Gong, right? Two notable sales influencers on LinkedIn. Yeah. And I said, do you think they'd ever pay commission on this? Is there a cap on something like this? Both of them said, typically no cap, but a deal like this, typically a deal like this would never be touched by an AE.
That's what I figured.
Yes. Yeah. And that's what we did.
It'd be like a key VP.
Yes. They were like, there is no way that happened. Like, there's no way an AE was allowed anywhere near that deal.
They might have got like the $100 for booking a demo, but like booking the initial call, but that's about it.
Yeah. It came in, got passed off. This is not something you touch. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. So that was our little circle back there. Now, speaking of baiting and switching.
Oh, this one's bad.
This one is bad.
Brutal.
It was brutal. You sent it to me. You cover it.
Yeah, let me cover it because I feel bad for this person. This is brutal. Like, just imagine this, right? All right. So in Scale AI, I kind of like the company. That's too bad.
You know this company?
Yeah. Never heard of them?
No.
What did they do? I think I knew the CMO or something like that. I think that's how I knew it.
You knew the CMO?
Yeah, or VP of marketing or something like that.
Okay.
But he moved on to another company. But let me share here. So Priyana Sharan posted about this. It was actually this week. Today was supposed to be my first day at Scale AI, but instead it was my last. In May, I accepted what felt like a dream role on the strategic projects team at Scale AI straight out of school. That's pretty awesome. Big AI company coming out of college. It's pretty great. Just 3 days before I was supposed to start, my offer was rescinded as part of the 14% company-wide reduction in workforce, along with the offers of every other new grad in my cohort. So everyone else got the boot.
Wasn't
too.
Just her.
No. But here's what gets worse. I had already moved coasts and signed a lease. And in a blink, I was living every new graduate's worst nightmare. Layoffs are becoming the norm. They reflect broader pressures, blah, blah, blah. And she tries to turn it into a learning thing, lame.
Which is very good, showing a lot of integrity, unlike us.
Yeah. Even though she called out the company. But that sucks, right? You just get out of college.
Yeah.
You get a big company. You are like this big AI company and you move there. You sign a lease. Like, that is brutal.
Yes. Yeah. To change your entire life
And I think she said San Francisco. It sounds like she moved into San Francisco, which
Oh, it's a tough place
not
to move
cheap.
to. No.
Not cheap. You're not living in the Wichita, or Ohio. So like a little tie back there. You see that? That sucks.
Wow.
I hate this because there's this and there's also the stories of people that left their company. Like if you're gonna start 3 days in, you already put your 2 weeks in, right? If you're starting in 3 days, you already put your 2 weeks in. You turn down other offers, and they can just
Pull the rug
say
from
no
underneath
3
you.
days before. But you have to put in your 2 weeks to leave the company.
Yes.
That's what I hate. That's why I'm like, it's not good.
It's a double standard that has
It
always
is.
existed where it's like employees are expected to be loyal. They want you to have this
Yeah.
long tenure. Your stock's not going to vest until 2 years at the company, blah, blah, blah. But then sometimes you're not at a company 2 years, not because you chose not to, like literally you'll let
Yeah.
go. But the irony being, and I've seen so many memes about this and posts about this where it's like, companies not doing well, lays off like 15%, and then the CEO's boasting about like record quarters. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
After doing that. And so there is a lot of this like treating us like cogs kind of thing rather than people. And I bet like AI agents and things like that are like welcome news because then they don't have to deal with the bullshit sentimental stuff that us humans, end up feeling. So
This is
that
true.
it's tough when you move and make life changes, but it's like, how do you prevent that? It's like, yeah,
There's no way to prevent it. And it's just brutal because like you also stopped looking. You thought you had a job.
you were excited, you
Now you have to
celebrated.
wait all this
Yeah.
other time. Now you have to tell other people that you lost his job. Now you have to wait. You have to go start applying. Like that's another however long.
And it's a competitive market. Like it's not an easy market.
True.
My husband and I were just talking about this the other day where it's like, yeah, like 7 or 8 years ago when he and I were looking for new jobs, like we got callbacks.
Yeah.
You'd send resumes out and then, you'd have 3 interviews the next week. And so that's just not the case anymore now. It's like he got this automated email some time ago and it was like, hey, yeah, we had such a great conversation with you, but we're going to have to pass. We found someone who's more qualified. He's like, I've literally never interviewed with these people. So like even the automated email wasn't even the right kind. And so that's a really tough break. Hope she finds something. Also starting out in your career can't be easy,
No.
like I see in her tagline, she said previous Gen AI intern at AWS. So like, she has something going for her, but yeah, that's that. Okay, I actually tried to find this, but I couldn't find it. So I get a lot of connection requests, not a flex. It's kind of an annoying hassle. Mostly it's people trying to sell me stuff, right? Like most of us on LinkedIn. And then I'll do a quick skim and be like, okay, this person looks like they're going to sell me, whatever. I don't go to their profiles usually unless like I'm really suspicious. Anyway, this one guy is director of marketing at some place. So I was like, okay, whatever. So I just accept. Next thing I know, I get a message from him pitching me on his product. And I'm like, what the hell? That's weird that they're having the marketing guy doing cold pitches. Anyway, I go to his profile, look at his position, and his position actually says director of sales at this company. So he's literally putting in his tagline director of marketing so he'll get the connection, accept, and then fucking turns around and cold pitches you.
That's lame.
That is shitty. But just another beautiful day in B2B.
That was the big stuff.
That was the big stuff. Peace, A-Town. And that's a wrap on Notorious B2B, where we expose the nonsense and remind you that most B2B marketing is just a very expensive guessing game.
Don't and post a passive-aggressive LinkedIn poll about it. We'll still find you.
And if you have B2B drama we should cover, slide into our DMs. We accept screenshots, leaked internal memos, and questionable brand rebrands.
Until next time, keep your marketing unhinged and your LinkedIn bio free of the words growth hacker. See you later.
Later, skater.